You're watching Newsday TV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jill Wagner. A controversial mask ban was signed into law in Nassau. Virginia Huey has more on this story.
It's official. It's now illegal in Nassau County to wear a mask in public to hide one's identity. The Mask Transparency Act, signed into law by Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman, makes it a crime for anyone to wear a facial covering to hide their identity in public. It is the first ban of its kind in the nation.
This is a broad public safety measure. What we've seen is people using masks to shoplift, to carjack, to rob banks, and this is activity that we want to stop.
The ban makes mask wearing a misdemeanor offense, punishable by up to a year in jail or a $1,000 fine. Those wearing face coverings for health or religious reasons are exempt. The measure was introduced in response to anti-Semitic incidents that authorities said were often committed by people wearing masks.
We are not going to allow anyone to attack our Jewish brothers and sisters.
But opponents, including the New York Civil Liberties Union, call the law flawed and dangerous for allowing police to stop and question any person in public wearing a mask, even if no crime is being committed.
We don't criminalize somebody because of what they're wearing, but because of their conduct.
There are also concerns about how the ban will be enforced. When Newsday asked County Executive Blakeman about training for police officers to enforce the ban, he did not offer specifics.
This is just another measure that they will be updated in the fact that there is a new law, like they would do with any new law, give them an update on how to proceed.
I wouldn't be comfortable if I lived here with that, because that should be my right to decide if I want to wear a mask or not.
Long Islanders Newsday spoke with say the new law is overkill.
If it was really prevalent, where there was a lot of crimes being committed in Nassau County with people wearing masks, then it would make sense. But I just don't think it's warranted. I think it's a little bit overkill.
For Newsday TV, I'm Virginia Huey.
There is a fourth confirmed case of listeria on Long Island. The state health department says it's linked to the Boar's Head outbreak. Dozens of people have gotten sick from 15 states. Boar's Head has recalled more than 7 million pounds of deli meat since late July. An SUV wound up in the water today at a boat ramp. Police say that it happened on Riviera Drive in Mastic Beach this morning. The Chevy Traverse had a trailer attached. When the vehicle slid down the boat ramp, there were no injuries. Inflation has fallen to a 3-year low, paving the way for the Fed to start cutting interest rates. Newsday business reporter James Medore explains what the numbers mean.
The reports that came out today give more evidence to the Federal Reserve that they can cut interest rates without damaging the economy. Several of the economists I spoke to today, including John Rizzo, who teaches at Stony Brook University, predicted that the Federal Reserve, when it meets in September, will lower interest rates 1/4 point to 1/2 point. That will have an impact on Long Island consumers. We'll see lower mortgage rates, we'll see lower credit card rates. However, it will take time for the rate cuts to filter through the economy.
Consumers are wondering when they will see some relief, whether it be credit card bills or refinancing a home. So just how long does this usually take?
It depends on the financial instrument, right? It depends on credit cards versus mortgages. It depends, but usually it's a matter of weeks, not months. You will see some relief. It may not be as dramatic as you're hoping for, but this is, remember, the first interest rate cut, not the last interest rate cut.
So what does this mean for Long Islanders? Where are we seeing improvement? And on the other hand, what's gotten more expensive?
So one of the reasons our inflation rate is a little bit higher than the nation's, we grew at 4.1% year over year in July, is because of housing costs. So one example, rents are up 5% year over year. We also see that the cost of electricity is up 15.1% year over year. So the cost of maintaining a home, living in that home, those costs are still very high. However, we have some good news too. Gasoline is down 1.4%. Medical care is down 2.4%. Clothing is down 4.2%. And we all talk about going to the grocery store, right? Well, milk is still up a little bit, but fruits and vegetables are down. So we are seeing some changes even in the grocery aisle.
We'll take it. You can read more about inflation and other local business stories on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. A luxury apartment building in Roslyn will open up to residents in the fall. Bryant Plaza is located next to the Roslyn train station. It's part of a 6-year redevelopment of a former strip mall. Rent for a 1-bedroom unit starts at just under $4,000 a month. Only in Newsday, old train cars are causing problems for LIRR riders. Transportation reporter Alfonso Castillo shows us what's driving up delays.
Stand clear of closing doors. That's something that railroad riders often hear. But what happens if the doors don't close at all? Train delays, that's what happens.
Although the Long Island Railroad's overall on-time performance has been improving as of late, one category of delays has gotten significantly worse. According to the LIRR's recently released mid-year operations report, delays caused by mechanical failures related to door defects jumped 79%, from 57 in the first half of 2023 to 102 this year. The door problems have been concentrated on the LIRR's oldest rail cars, including the 1980s-era M3 trains.
They should keep the trains up to par and up to speed because a lot of people be having timelines on places they gotta go, and I myself been a victim of that before because of delays on these trains. So yeah, they should upgrade all the trains.
The MTA had plans to replace the old trains, but now says it may not be able to afford to do so anytime soon because it was counting on funding from congestion pricing to do so. Governor Kathy Hochul pulled the plug on the tolling plan in June.
I might be one of a few, but I actually think congestion pricing is good, and getting new trains, it really needs to happen.
For now, the LIRR says it will continue to maintain the old trains and has plans to order new parts to address the door problems on some of them. But those parts aren't expected to arrive until the middle of next year. Some commuters have no issue riding in the LIRR's oldest trains for the foreseeable future, including nostalgia buff Joe Schmidt.
I like the wood paneling. It's like Grandma's house.
Now, there was some good news in the railroad's mid-year operations report. Delays caused by signal problems were down 40% compared to the same period last year. In Atlantic Terminal, Brooklyn, for Newsday TV, I'm Alfonso Castillo.
You can read more about delays on the LIRR. Just click Get More below the Newsday TV video box on our homepage.
Newsday Sports is brought to you by King O'Rourke Automotive Group.
Well, now that the Summer Olympics are over, a brother and sister from Suffolk have their sights set on the Winter Games. Jamie Stewart hits the ice for a story that you'll see only in Newsday.
Imagine spending all day, every day, with your sibling.
Maybe we need to work on that a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
You might grow tired of one another pretty quickly.
I'd say it's pretty often.
Meet the Brown siblings, Gage and Una. They watched the Olympics from a different perspective than most of us. They watched with an eye on the future.
It definitely does light a fire under us to kind of just be there in the wintertime.
21-year-old Gage and 19-year-old Una started competing as a dance team a decade ago. The Middle Island natives ranked 24th in the world as a team and recently won the silver medal at the Lake Placid Ice Dance International.
We grew up in a very musical household, so we always would be grooving, we always would be dancing.
Gage and Una's goal is to compete in ice dancing at the 2026 Winter Olympics. But what is ice dancing? Well, it's a form of figure skating, but there are some major differences. In ice dancing, there are no jumps or overhead lifts, and the Browns say the main focus is artistry.
It's a lot more, like she said, artistic oriented, I guess. It's a lot more knee bend. It's a lot more how you can make the audience feel in a way, and emotionally, not just like at a visual perspective.
The brother and sister combo complement each other's dancing styles.
Una's dancing style is she has fun doing it, and you can see that.
A perfect balance to Brother Gage.
I would describe it like crazy.
I was gonna say,
but
I was thinking that.
crazy, but in control. So it's like interesting to watch.
Right.
It's
Wow,
like
thanks.
A rare compliment, perhaps, but these sibling skaters always have each other's backs, and one day, perhaps they'll have an Olympic experience.
When we're on the ice, it's a good feeling to be with somebody that you know for this long and that you trust in a lot of things.
For Newsday TV, I'm Jamie Stewart.
You can read more exclusive stories like this on Newsday.com. Just click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Now let's take a look at your Long Island weather. Tonight, mid-60s and partly cloudy. And tomorrow, another sunny day, highs in the mid-80s. And here is a closer look at tomorrow. It looks like sunny skies throughout the day. And now let's take a look at the week ahead. Some rain toward the end of the weekend and early next week.
Long Island weather is brought to you by PTRC.
You're watching Newsday TV. I'm Jill Wagner. Thank you for joining us.